Number 99. Yo, check that out. Number 99. Number 99.
Number
99. Yes, sirree, Bob. Oh, there we go.
Here we are.
Let's kick it off.
Let's do this.
I think I'm going to have to change the music for episode 100. We'll play the national anthem.
You should get that, something that's... Yeah, what's your walk-on music? You know, like darts players. Have you seen darts players in these...
Oh, yes.
They have this walk-on music. Same sort of
Like
boxers and wrestlers.
WWF.
Yeah. So lots of light smoke and their tune that gets them amped.
Yeah. So what would our song be? Or would we each one? Would each of us have one? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we wouldn't walk on as a group. No, that's a bit Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, we would come one at a time.
Ah. One at a time.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
You, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, we're better than this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're not.
Are we allowed to talk about your relationship status online?
I don't know.
Is
this a trick question?
No, it's not a trick question. No, I was just... Yeah, I was stalking you on the internet and found out some interesting information.
Oh, really? I'm intrigued. I don't know what's on my social profiles, wherever they might be.
No.
Okay, Andrew, can you tell me?
Short.
Can you tell me? Is this going to be like a royal drama?
No royal drama. Geez, talking about royal drama. I mean, I didn't.
Was that a
segue? Thanks, Oleg. You saved me. What is the what's the story with old William and Harry? I heard there was some
beef.
Beef, yeah, argy bargy or something in the kitchen. Beef.
Well, you're talking about what came up in the interview in the book.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I haven't followed up on it. Do you know anything about it?
Big beef.
Look, I just don't care. As is most of the population. Like,
does anyone ever talk about it in the office, or is there any sort of water cooler talk?
I only know one guy that's watched the series.
Okay.
Everybody else doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's got worse. I mean, so we get wind of the highlights of the book ahead of the book's been as a part of their publicity.
Yeah.
To get people to buy the book. So they leaked all the stuff, and everyone just went, so you did that. Okay, whatever. Oh, you did that as well. You felt the need to share that. Okay. All right.
Interesting.
You shagged an older woman in a pub's field. Why did you need to bring that up? Oh, that was okay. I mean, who hasn't?
No.
Not me. I think the straw was part of this publicity was he was bragging about how many Taliban soldiers he had killed.
Oh, what's in his time?
That's the sticky one. Because everyone in the armed forces who served, you just don't talk about that stuff. Which leads me, one, to believe it's not true. And two,
it's inappropriate or what?
It's inappropriate.
Yeah.
You just don't do that. It's disrespectful to the soldiers you were fighting. It's disrespectful in general to the families involved. You just leave it on the battlefield. That's where it stays.
Yeah, it's like Vegas.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So that just cements it even more. Everyone's just gone, you know what? You're an idiot. You're doing this for publicity. No wonder the royal family have kind of sidelined you, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? William used to sit on top of him and beat him. I mean, like most boys when they're growing up do that, right? They fight all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh, come on. Just stop. I'm not watching it. I've decided. Interestingly, it shows what's popular to watch on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
This doesn't feature in ours.
Mhm.
It's not making the top 10.
Oh wow. Well, that's interesting. Well, it's not. Well, it was top 10 in South Africa when it's released, but I don't think it is anymore.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So, talking about Netflix, I watched Kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah, I still haven't watched it.
What is that about?
So it's a series you can watch you can watch the episodes in any order except you need to watch White last.
Is that the last one?
Mr. Landor,
Yeah.
pleasant surprise.
Oh, so you're saying you wouldn't go with a sequence that they've suggested?
No, well, I watched it in the sequence that they suggested it.
Okay.
So what was the sequence?
So here it was: yellow, green, blue, orange, violets, red, pink, and then white.
So white needs to come last.
Yeah.
So
That's-
White brings them all together.
That's the final episode. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay.
So let's see what's top 10 at the moment in South Africa. Recently watched. New releases, my list, exciting movies. Okay, maybe, I don't know why it's not showing me what the top 10 is. Oh, well.
Top picks for Andrew.
Yeah. No, I don't see it. Anyway, on my mobile app it would show it. Anyway. Yeah, so watched anything interesting on Netflix recently?
Not on Netflix. I watched The Menu. I think it's on Hulu. And that was really, really good.
What is it?
Exclusive restaurants on the island.
Okay.
Only 10 seats. Basically, I think it's about $1,300 per seat.
Where?
Type of thing. Highly exclusive menu. But since you guys haven't watched it, there's more to the story.
Clearly.
There's more than an exclusive menu. It's exclusive list of food on the menu. It was really good.
Oh, that's good. You say that's on Hulu. I'll give that
Yeah.
a watch. Yeah, so the top 10 TV shows in South Africa at the moment: Ginny and Georgia, Vikings Valhalla, Kaleidoscope, Wednesday, Pressure Cooker, Recruits, Emily in Paris, The Circle, Women of the Dead, and what is this one? This one is some foreign one. La Reina del Sur. I don't know how you pronounce that. But
It sounds Spanish.
Espanol. Yeah. International Emmy Award-winning action series following the rise of a female drug lord, Teresa Mendoza, who became an instant hit worldwide. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll watch that. Yeah. Right. So, Lester, you got some hectic traveling this coming week, right?
I've just got back from Madrid
Mm-hmm.
a few days ago, and I'm off to Hamburg on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then I come back from Hamburg on Wednesday night, and then Thursday I fly to Johannesburg.
Johannesburg.
That's gonna be the most exciting leg of that trip.
Yeah, I hope the
Wow.
landing lights are working. Load shedding.
All right, let's talk about this.
Okay.
This nonsense
What
of
to
rolling
expect?
blackouts.
What to expect?
I mean, there is the potential for our 100th episode to be in person,
Yes.
and we'll have to get adjustable chairs because we're all at different heights.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? How far advanced do you get notice of what the planned rolling blackouts are?
Well, seeing that the level changes
All
on
the
a
time.
regular basis,
Yeah.
it goes through the different stages, stage 1 up to stage 6 at the moment. It really depends what the stage is that day.
I think by the time Blessed arrives, we're going to be on stage 10.
Hang on, there's a stage 10? I thought you only went up to like 6 or 7.
No.
Stage 10 is basically when they come to your house and blow out the candles.
So currently, if it's stage 6 next weekend on Saturday, load shedding will be between 12 in the morning and 2:30, and then 8 to 12 there's a little 4-hour stint there, and then from 4 until 8:30. So we would have to do the podcast at say like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, shit. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
When is Leicester landing? Just for the interest sake, is it does that coincide with the load shedding schedule? Because that will determine whether the lights will be working or not.
I land on Friday morning.
Okay, so you say.
And then I'm going to Midrand for the day, and then I'm back to the airport on early Saturday morning. What time's the first one? On Saturday?
On Saturday morning, 12 to 2.
But that's
and
for
then-
his area.
Yeah, that's for my area.
Okay.
The different areas have different schedules.
Don't stress, you might miss it. You have 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So Saturday morning, I'm back to the airport to pick up some people.
What time are you picking them? 7:30. So what is it?
I
again?
mean, no. Apparently, I got to be there another hour earlier because my other friends are coming in from Tanzania about an hour before, and I've got something to give them.
All right.
Nothing illegal. It's called the driver's license.
It's called the driver's license.
Which they left at home. So I've got their driver's license to give to
Alright.
them for the next leg.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so I don't
Anyway.
quite know. But my plan is pick up people, see people at the airport, and then come back to the Ramberg side for a podcast.
For a podcast. And a
If you know of
braai.
one going.
And a braai.
And a braai, of course.
Yeah,
I was
so...
also looking at the weather a bit a couple of days ago, and the weather for Saturday looks pretty dire.
Why,
What, rain?
What's happening? Is it going to rain?
Yeah. Sunday
Yeah.
looks okay.
Listen, that'll change by the time
It'll
the weekend
change,
comes. Yeah.
but, okay.
Changes every day.
Jeez. Yeah, no,
Even-
definitely. I'm seeing sun all of this week. That wasn't the case before.
Okay.
30, 17, 29, 17, the standard.
Jeez, dude, it's been
Okay.
warm this week, eh? Phew. Been super warm this week.
That's good because I'm coming from -5 tonight and there's snow tonight.
All right. To
And then
sunny
I'm going
South
to
Africa.
northern Germany for Hamburg, and that's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I'll need to defrost at some point.
Don't forget to bring your swimming costume, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want the sequined mankini or the lime green one?
I think the lime green one will look good.
The Borat one.
The
Borat one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. I just need to make sure the chafing is not too threadbare.
Don't worry, I've got a whole tub of Vaseline.
It's not getting it on. It's what's going to blow out.
I'm not gonna ask any questions about why does Andrew have a type of Vaseline and why does Lester have a.
And why? That's the first thing that came to mind for him. Have you got a problem that you need to discuss?
No.
Yeah. So, are you mentally prepared for South Africa? When last were you here? You came when?
I don't know.
Was it 10 years ago? Maybe
Changed
longer.
my passport since then, so.
Longer than that. Unless you've come into the country without
my
telling me.
father-in-law's funeral was the last time I was there,
Okay.
and that's 8 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And that wasn't really a holiday. That was just a pop in, pop out.
Yeah, pop in, pop out. Yeah. Yeah. So,
This is a road trip.
yeah, and you're expecting like you've almost. So a mate of mine who grew up in Argentina,
Yeah.
moved to Spain when he was like 18 or 19, studied in Spain, got married to a Belgian, so on and so on. And I don't think he's been back to Argentina since he left. And I don't know, he must be 40, maybe late 30s
Wow,
or
that's
something
more
like
than
that.
half your life ago.
Yeah. So you can imagine when he went back to Argentina now, earlier this year, and seeing the difference in the country, obviously for the negative. What are your expectations?
Well, I forgot. I also came over for a weekend, didn't I? When I saw you,
Yeah.
and that was 2008.
So that's a
That
long,
was
long
2000.
time.
That was just
2008,
before the
2009?
financial crisis.
Ish, dude. It's a long time ago. So, like, besides load shedding, dude, one thing you got to, these are the things that you need to be aware of. Okay, because of load shedding, traffic lights, even when they're
Don't work.
working, people have got now into a bad habit of sometimes, not all the time, sometimes not obeying by the rules. So you got to be very
So
careful.
what? They
at
treat them as a
intersection.
four-way stop, or do they just
Nah,
go?
dude, they just carry on straight. So like yesterday, okay, it was load shedding and the traffic light wasn't working. Unfortunately, I was checking, but a guy didn't even take his foot off the accelerator and came through the intersection.
So it's not just taxis; it's
No,
everyone.
no, normal drivers, day-to-day drivers. It's like almost become acceptable to do that because a large portion of the time the traffic lights aren't working. Because sometimes even when the power comes back on, the traffic lights are a little bit wonky or out of sync. Just flashing red, whatever. Yeah, like the good old days in
Well,
Middelburg.
flashing red was that was a two-way stop, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a four-way stop. Yeah, four-way
Well,
stop.
because
Yeah.
sometimes it was orange the one way and red the other, depending on where the traffic was coming from.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Okay.
Can you
fine.
remember back in the day in Middelburg, they used to, on a Sunday, all the traffic lights used to flash red.
Why?
Well, then they become four-way stops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like an
Because you don't want to
experiment?
wait for 5 minutes for a light
Yeah.
to change if there's no traffic.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
I've noticed my traffic lights where I live. Not that we have many in this village.
You mean
You
just
see, I
one?
call them traffic lights and not robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
During the week, the traffic lights stay on longer than the weekends, so they've actually coordinated that
Oh, wow.
without making them flash red.
Mm.
They're just shorter stints.
Yeah. So we do have some of the robots, traffic lights, when they're working properly. They also have, like the turning signal, certain times of the day the turning signal works, like for instance, like if they're going to let the guys turn right first before or after the cycle. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do work. So you can imagine with load shedding, it's like your pool pump. You set your pool pump to start at 6 o'clock at night and, work until maybe 8 or 10, depending what season it is. I mean, with this load shedding, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, you'll hear your creepy going, tick, 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 because it's out of sequence, Yeah.
So what? When they have load shedding and there's no power to the robots, traffic lights, they what? Automatically resync
nothing.
when the power comes back on?
Yeah, look, I don't know if they resync properly because of the zones, you'll be in one road and one traffic lights might not be working and the next one will be working because of the zones that they load shed on the schedule. Yeah. Yeah. And the other big thing that you're going to have to be very, very aware of is potholes, dude. And these are not small potholes. Not small potholes.
Yeah, I'll come to that later.
Okay.
Yeah, no, potholes. I mean, potholes are starting to appear in the UK. Not the same as the ones there. Potholes were a problem many years ago. They never go around, and you'll find in my story later, potholes have been around for 2,000 years more. And I'll go through the origins of the name of the pothole. Oh, stay tuned.
Much later.
Yeah.
Much later.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's much later in the podcast. Yeah. So that's one thing you're gonna have to be careful, especially when you go out to Mpumalanga, to Eastern Transvaal.
Yeah, that side is quite bad in terms of like there's some massive potholes. I actually when I drove to Mozambique, I took that route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which way did you go when you went to Mozambique?
On the motorway all the way to...
Yeah.
Which way did you go? Like N4?
N4, and then basically branched off towards Swaziland and went around Swaziland.
Okay. But like, did you go all the way into like sort of Nelspruit, or did you turn?
I turned before Nelspruit.
Like Barberton kind of.
You went around Swaziland, so you went in from northern KZN into Mozambique.
Yeah, from northern KZN.
That seems like a long way around.
Well, taking into account that Kamatiport border post, like on the festive season, it's just absolute insanity. You'd want to avoid that because, like, even if you add like an extra 30 minutes to your journey, that's like still worth it because the Quasi Bay border post is like that quiet. When I got there, there were like 4 people in the queue versus 400.
How long did it take you to get through the border
10
post?
minutes.
10 minutes.
Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Guys,
good stuff.
I know my stuff. Like I've done border crossings from South Africa to Botswana, from South Africa to Mars several times. I used pretty much every single possible border post between SA and Botswana, and then SA and Namibia.
That's cool.
Why don't you go through Swaziland border post to Mozambique? So that's 2 border posts. There's a food for thought.
No, it's cool. It's like sticking on that road to Quasi Bay is just, it's simple, easy, no drama. Fuel stations along the way. Yeah, you want to limit the amount of borders you cross.
Okay. No, I've been doing some research recently because of this road trip, and we had thought about going through Swaziland because, one, I've never been to Swaziland.
You joking?
But also, I don't joke about stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I've never been to Mozambique or Swaziland, so I was going to use this opportunity to go through one. And when I was researching, it's like, oh, okay, I won't go into the details, but I haven't been to, and I'm still not going to go through them. But the roads in Swaziland have been repaired in recent years, starting in COVID times, so they're not as bad as they used to be.
Yeah, sure.
They were notoriously potholed. Apparently, that's no longer the case until the next year when the potholes resurface.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, look, I mean, I must admit, Swaziland's actually a very nice place to go and visit. Very scenic. Some areas that look very much like lots of forests and that kind of thing. It looks like Eastern Transvaal, like the Swabi area.
So that's Pik's Peak area, is it?
Yeah, I've done 2 bike rides through there.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
Pretty
And yeah, look, I mean, there was some...
as well, right?
Yeah, very chilled. And some of the areas, like you say, the roads were not ideal. But it's not like potholes. It's just like the whole road has deteriorated. So it sounds bad, but it's not as bad as a pothole, because a pothole is like there's a flipping hole in the ground. Whereas there, what's happened is over years the tar's broken away, and there will be a section where it goes from tar to gravel to tar again. Yeah. Very cool. So have you
we'll
worked
talk about
out
that road down to KZN, because that's the road I'm going on.
Yeah.
You're going to St. Lucia, right?
We'll talk about that. Yes, I am going to St. Lucia, Louis.
Yeah. That's actually, I've been there. I've spent about a week in St. Lucia.
Yeah, it was on the podcast.
Yeah. So
We were
yeah,
talking about elephants and
Yeah.
such at the time.
that's an awesome nature reserve. I think.
Jeez,
it's
did I
called
miss that episode?
Shushlu and Folosi Game Reserve, right next to St. Lucia. It's like an hour away.
Yeah, I was thinking staying in Cape Vidal, but it's Anyway, we'll talk about that when I see you.
Sweet.
We haven't actually booked anything other than the itinerary roughly. So beyond Kruger Park, we know we're heading to KZN, but we don't know where we're staying yet. We have to figure that out.
You did.
Yeah.
You did made a booking for St. Lucia, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. I don't know. I would suggest like just stay in St. Lucia and do like day trips into Cape Vidal.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Cape Vidal. It was just more. It's fairly rustic out there.
Yeah, it's very
and
rustic.
People I'm traveling with love that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, St. Lucia's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
But I was also thinking the Llywelyn area, not the game resort, but more the town as a base. Anyway,
I think that might be too rustic.
what Llywelyn town?
Yeah. I can see Leicester is very adventurous.
Well, maybe I was once upon a time.
Well, you can go to Cape Vidal.
You're going to test out that theory again.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you feel very adventurous, you can try to drive through the Kamati Port border post in Mozambique, just like a day trip. And just let me know how that goes.
Did they still ask you for a COVID result when you went through?
They can ask you for anything and everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So be mentally
I
ready.
see. Okay.
So when you travel now to South Africa, do you have to do any COVID thing or
No. We've got to bring which is the standard now. You've got to bring
your
evidence
vaccination?
of vaccination or a negative COVID test.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
It was interesting this week going to Spain, which I haven't done for a couple of months. They still ask you to wear a face mask on the plane.
All right.
You still have to wear face masks in public transport while you're in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
And that's
interesting.
been consistent, or is it disappeared and come back again
Well,
because
it used to be a lot stricter where if you walk down the road, if you were outdoors, basically, if you're not at home and you're not eating and drinking, you will be having a mask on in Spain. That's how it was. Now it's calmed down a bit. And this, if I think back, the last time I was in Spain was a couple of months ago. And they'd only just moved to the state that they're in. So it's been like this for a few months. But I didn't come across this in the US, the Central American countries I went to, Germany, Amsterdam I've been to recently. None of these countries, other than checking for vaccination certificates, they don't have any other prerequisites. So it's interesting. Spain are lingering. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Everybody adheres to it. So we're in a taxi and we're asking the taxi driver, what happens if I don't wear a mask? He says, €200 fine per person in the car.
Wow.
It's like, okay, I'll just put this on there.
I'll just put the mask on. Geez, that's quite interesting. Yeah.
And it's enforced, yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And in UK, that's not the case, obviously. Okay. Even in public transport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wears a mask.
Okay.
I actually still see people wearing masks, but the thing is, if this
It's
was
voluntary.
pre-COVID, people look at you like, "Why are you wearing a mask?" Now it's just like, you're wearing a mask. So what?
Yeah, sure. Ooh,
But
is
it's
there something wrong with you?
minority.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are still some people that are not
COVID's still out
vaccinated and also susceptible, comorbidities or something like that.
Yeah.
Make a conscious choice.
COVID's still spreading, but loads of people are vaccinated. So instead of being severely ill for weeks, you're now just ill for a day.
Yeah.
Your recovery is much faster.
I heard, again, I didn't go into the detail, but that China reported 60,000 new cases the other day. So I'm just going to Google it quickly. So
They
it's
had some problems some weeks ago with people just starting to revolt, going, "We're tired of being locked down. We're tired of being under this lockdown scenario where they couldn't get food, they couldn't go to work easily, they couldn't. Everything was if you were caught out, you had to have a justification why you were out. And it's like it's been going on for so long. People are just like, I've had enough now.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, this is actually going back quite to the 2nd of December that they reported 62,000 new cases.
The UK has made an announcement in the last few weeks that they are no longer going to report COVID cases.
Oh, really? And did they say why?
It's too much overhead for what's the purpose?
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's interesting. So they're saying, the China COVID wave, and this was posted on the 19th of December, this China COVID wave could kill 1 million people. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sure. So have you had a booster recently, or?
Yeah, I had one in November just before I went to Central America.
Okay.
So that was the next booster. Yeah.
Central America? Where did you go?
Well, I was on that cruise.
Yeah, sure. That's
yeah, so we stopped at Belize, Honduras, and Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And what was the COVID protocol during that trip? Any at all, or just?
Well, about a week before I went on the ship, they still had quite stringent requirements. You had to show a negative test regardless of vaccinations. You had to wear a mask all the time on board, etc., etc., etc. And they would put you in quarantine, no bother, on the ship.
Sure.
And it changed just before I got on to a state where we recommend you wear a mask, but it's not
mandatory. Yeah. Who wants a mask tan?
I know they did check my certificates when I got on the boat, though, before I got on the boat.
Sure.
I know that our guys, who obviously there's no what's his name, there's no COVID restrictions anymore. But as far as I remember, when I was listening to the radio podcast, our guys are still monitoring the stats.
What's the vaccination rates? Do you know it's been a while since we talked about COVID?
It's been ages.
That was a main topic when we used to.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I mean, COVID-19. We're in 2023 now.
Yeah, interesting. So interesting. Sorry, I was just checking Facebook. Looked like the
So the UK has only got 76% people vaccinated, fully vaccinated. Interesting.
Sorry, I'm just checking the. For some reason, the stream stopped. That's very interesting. Always a technical issue. That's very interesting. Let me see. Sorry, I just want to get the stream key here. Modify. It's the same stream key. I wonder why it's...
So I was listening while Andrew is restarting. Or should we...
Yeah.
No, you carry
on. I was listening to a radio interview with one of the virologists that's working for National Center for Disease Control. And basically, the moral of the story is COVID's still mutating. They're trying to monitor different mutations and seeing where, if any specific mutation could be particularly dangerous, more dangerous than what we've seen so far, and how much
Sure.
more.
And that's about right. That's what disease control should
Yeah.
be looking at.
Yeah.
This is a flu virus that can be hectic or not.
Yeah.
35% of South African population are fully vaccinated. 35.
Yeah.
That's behind the world average, which is around. It doesn't tell me anymore. So no new deaths, but new cases is on the rise.
Yeah.
So there's been 2,500 in the first 2 weeks of January. Okay.
Well, the entire basically Christmas.
364 cases yesterday. Okay, that would suggest a bit of a spike going on.
No, well, think about it this way: the whole New Year's and Christmas festive season is essentially one giant super spreader event, right? Because there's people traveling from one part of the country to another, then coming back, etc., etc. So it's like this entire season from like the 24th of, I would say even from the 16th of December through to the first week of Jan is basically, yeah. Because a lot of people are going back homes, going back to visit their families, etc., etc.
35% of the population vaccinated compared to the worldwide average of 65%.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be more than 80, 70, 80, but that's still quite low.
Yeah.
And is that because it's not, is it free or not? Why is the vaccination rate not higher?
The vaccination was free. I'm not sure how it is now. I haven't gone for my third booster. Andrew, have you?
No.
Okay.
So you've had your initial 2 shots
Yeah.
and no further boosters beyond
No
that?
further boosters beyond, yeah.
Jeez, dude.
I
I've
know.
had two extra boosters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Andrew, what's happening? Are we
Yeah, I don't know.
streaming or not?
It says it is, but I don't see. Go to the news feed. Yeah, I just don't see it on there. It's not coming up.
Maybe
But anyway, it doesn't matter.
If you
We'll
change
just-
the account.
Yeah.
South African vaccine doses given. It kind of started dropping off a year ago. And then come July last year, it was pretty much flat. It's been flat since then. I mean, there's still 6,000 to 7,000 doses given a day. But it's, oh no, I'll take that back. In December, 500 doses a day. That's tiny.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
So that's the third thing I need to worry about then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember when there was still the first variations. One of them was the South African variation.
South African variant, yes.
Variant, and the other one was the Kent, not the UK. They never called it UK. They called it the Kent variant. They were around at the same time.
Aren't you?
I live in Kent.
Aren't you living in Kent?
I live in Kent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll bring you the Kent one, and you we'll swap these for the South African one.
No, we'll just get them to mutate.
We'll bring them together and see what happens.
Oh, no.
All right, so what else is going on?
Yes, not much, dude.
Soaring temperatures, potholes, no traffic lights.
No traffic lights. Oh, like when I hear that, I like traffic lights.
Was that a muted cough?
Yeah.
I've had this cough for weeks now.
Is
I'm going
that
to bring this over with me.
Is that the Kent variant?
No, I don't know what it is.
Kent variant on the
People hang around
podcast.
with.
Kent variant on the podcast. Hello, guys. I'm coming through.
I mean, we've got an antivirus on this IT hardware to protect this podcast, but when I'm there in person, there's no helping.
Oh, which one are you using, by the way?
I don't know. This is a good question. Bum. I'm going to get back to you because
No promise.
if I
No
change now,
stress.
my teams will freeze.
No stress. Let's not mess around with antivirus. Just now, the antivirus thinks that you're the virus and tries and will lock the entire system
I
down.
am the virus.
Yeah, interesting.
So I'm intrigued now. Going back to this, when there's no traffic lights, it's all carnage on the roads. So when you go to do your driver's test now, there's the official driver's test of the rules of the road. Do they teach you anything else?
In what sense?
In like, this is how you should be driving. However, because of the other dangers on the road and people not obeying the, do they give any more further awareness for drivers' awareness course or?
No. That's not part of the
Curriculum.
part of the thing. No, not at all. Not at all.
I think basically like when you go for a driver's test and let's say there's load shedding in the area and the traffic lights are out, they basically would expect you to treat traffic lights as a four-way stop.
Mm.
No, I get it, but it's more aware that not everyone's going to follow the rules.
Yeah, for sure.
I like what they got in America, which is if you're at an intersection and you're turning right, on a red light you can turn right. You can yield and go right. So you're not held up by the traffic light. So that would be useful on the left-hand side of the road as well.
Yeah. I mean, they used to have this thing where I actually haven't seen many of them around, but at a stop street, they would have a yield to the left.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't actually have to stop at the stop street
and
if you were turning left.
Yeah.
You can just
slip.
Yeah, just slow down and go. But I don't see many of those around anymore.
No.
Like you would think.
Oh, was that an extra little sign underneath the stop sign?
Well, it was, yeah. So it would be the upside down triangle with the left arrow. Yeah. I don't see many of those around.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys back to work now?
Yeah. Back at
how's
work.
it feel? I'm shattered. It's busy.
Yeah. Forgotten about my holiday. Yeah. All those lovely things. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not at that stage of.
I think January overall is a very tough month because it's like you came back from a good break and now basically this avalanche of emails coming and there's an avalanche of this and that and you just feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, everyone wants a pound of your flesh.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately for me, I say fortunately, so this coming week is probably going to be hectic because a large majority of the people are still away. Well, there are a fair amount of people that were still away. And they're only coming back on Monday.
When do the schools go back? That must be about now.
Right about now, yeah. Yeah, this past week they went back to school.
Yeah, I forget it's opposite to the UK.
So when did the school start in the UK? Like September or something?
Yeah.
Well, whatever, the summer break is longer than the winter break. But our summer break starts it's around July. Right. And it's about 6 weeks. And depending on where you are, which district, schools break up at different times.
Right.
So it's different from our day when the whole province used to go off at the same time, other than the private schools.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, so things are picking up. I mean, traffic's not that hectic at the moment, even by post-COVID terms. Traffic lights not working. Man, I tell you what, I was coming back from Melrose Arch on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it happened on Jan Smuts. It was load shedding. And the traffic lights weren't working. Oh my word, dude, the traffic was. And it was like at 4 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh my word!
Beginning of rush hour.
Oh no, dude, it was insane. Yeah, so not great. And I wasn't on my bike; I was in the car. So
Oh dear.
lane splitting. Is lane splitting legal in the UK?
You've asked me this before.
Have I?
I don't know,
Okay.
but it's common practice on the motorways in rush hour that the cars are going to fill up all the lanes, and the bikes just move between the lanes.
All right.
So they're right between on the line between the cars.
You've seen that happen.
Oh yeah, it's every day.
Okay.
That's quite normal, and it's the same across several European countries.
Yeah, it is legal in the UK. Yeah, just
Okay.
Google it. But I don't think it's legal in some states in America. Let's see, in the US, so far, California is the only state that has made lane splitting legal. So that's the only state. So out of all the other states in America, lane splitting is not legal.
Are you allowed to drive two abreast on bikes, or do you have to go single file?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Let's check it.
The road laws in the UK were updated in the last year or so. I don't know the exact date. But bicycles, it always used to be bicycles you'd have to be in single file to allow traffic to overtake.
Yeah.
They're now saying in the UK that you can ride abreast as cyclists now.
So, can you see the search result above? There's only 3 states in the US.
3 states in the US, but that's for bicycles. So there's one thing that drives me insane in Cape Town. It's like when you driving from Noordhoek to, say, Hout Bay over Chapman's Peak, right?
Yeah.
It's very narrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden there's lots of cyclists that ride along that road. Okay. So when you've got a cyclist, there's not enough space to overtake without going over the solid white line. So when you're going up Chapman's Peak, it's nice, to have a nice, because it's nice, windy road and whatever. It's not that you want to go fast, and I'm talking specifically in a car, but you get stuck behind a cyclist doing like 20 k's an hour or 10 k's an hour up the hill. Yeah, it's frustrating, dude, because there you are, just stuck behind this, and you can't pass him because you can't see around the corner, and you shouldn't be passing because it's a solid white line. And then the last time I was there's a section there's no pedestrians allowed, right? But there are people that are running. So now, remember, when someone runs on the road, they run into the oncoming traffic.
Oncoming.
Yeah, so they're on the left-hand side. So I'm riding on the left-hand side. They running on their right-hand side, but it's in my left lane. So now you've got a cyclist, some of which are not in single file. Plus you've got a person that's running in a section where there are no pedestrians allowed. Yeah. And then I still have to pay the toll fee.
And they don't.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
Bugbear for me, man.
Yeah.
Got to change that.
Yeah.
Cyclists need to pay the toll fee.
Let it go.
Let it go.
And the runners.
And then we are in the runners.
And the runners.
And the
Runners don't have any money on them. Not a
But
cyclist.
technically, right? Because
they can tap with your phone, dude.
or your watch, right?
Yeah.
Or a smartwatch. So technically, like a question, right?
Or just ban them completely.
Should they charge a toll fee depending how long it will take you to your destination?
Maybe. Yeah. No, look, I mean, if the road was wide enough and all that, then I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But the road's not wide enough for that.
No.
And you think about a tourist that's coming to Cape Town and he's driving over Chapman's Peak and he's stuck behind a cyclist. And not one or two, because even if you do get the opportunity to pass one of the cyclists, there's another one.
And another one.
And another one.
And then there's runners.
And then when I get to the other side, they say, "Oh, can you please pay 60 rand?" Or I don't know what the toll fee is at the Chapman's Peak. But it's not cheap. You know, for the amount of...
How long does it take to get across in this state of delay?
It could take you half an hour, 45 minutes to get there, where normally it could just take you 10 or 15, not even 10. Probably longer if you get stuck behind a couple, if it's busy. Anyway, that's just my bugbear. And yes, I know their song is playing in my head. Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah. Anyway, dudes, we already
Clocking.
almost an hour. So I think Lester can do his... Exactly. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm sure now Lester can tell us about potholes now.
Well, okay.
Wow.
So I was hoping, because this is the second Saturday of the weekend, that we weren't going to see some of the same national days as we'd have in previous years.
previous time, yeah.
And
However,
some mixed.
What are we
All right,
looking
I'm going to
at?
start with the world's largest office building.
yeah.
Do you know what that is?
World Trade Center?
What is supposed to be is the Pentagon.
Oh. Okay.
And
that's
I'm like,
interesting.
is it? I'm sure there's something bigger than that. Anyway,
Well, I suppose when you
Apparently
say
that's the
bigger,
world's
it's like
largest
how many people, how many occupants, or how big
how do you
as in
measure
height?
this? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Square foot.
The world's largest office building, the Pentagon, was built to house the whole of the US military.
Okay.
When did they enter the Second World War? That was 42. This was
39,
built
yeah.
and completed in
42,
43.
yeah. Yeah. In 43. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was just okay. They're gearing up for World War. We're going to get all our office staff in the right place to make us more effective. Anyway, that I just didn't realize it was that old. For some reason, I thought it was built during the Cold War, but okay. Today, on this day in history, 1919 was the Great Molasses Flood of Boston, Massachusetts. The what?
Please give us details.
Basically, there was massive amounts of molasses imported from around the world, and it was refined in Boston. So they had a lot of storage of this molasses in the Boston port. So basically, while it was waiting to be processed into alcohol spirits, it was stored there. There was a storage tank that burst, and there were basically 2 million gallons of molasses just went.
Wow. Wow.
2 million.
Sure.
It drowned 21 people and injured 150 people. I mean,
That is hectic.
That is hectic. And then in the next breath, I'm going to say,
Guys,
on
alcohol
this day
kills.
tomorrow,
Alcohol kills.
alcohol kills. It's not funny. On this day tomorrow, a year after the Great Molasses Flood, the prohibition started.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're connected. Anyway, on this day was the first time a man stepped out in London wearing a top hat. The big top hat, not the shorter one. The like Abe Lincoln kind of. And it caused such a sensation because it looked a bit phallic, I presume, that he went to court. He had to justify why he was wearing such an obscure hat. There you go. First world problems. I'm going to switch quickly then to national days. And it is National Fresh Squeezed Juice Day, World Snow Day, even though there's a shortage of snow for the skiers in Europe this year. Wikipedia Day, because Wikipedia was invented on this day like 22 years ago.
Wow, that's cool.
And they struggle. I'm not sure how long they're going to keep up because they're always asking for money. It's National Bagel Day, National Hat Day, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Here we go. It's National Pothole Day.
Oh.
Wow.
So, I mean, I had to research this a bit more. The history of potholes and why it's called a pothole was going back to Roman times when they used to have this good clay on top of brick, on top of another set of stone. So this is what molded it all together to make it quite the Roman roads are known to be quite tough and thorough. But what happened was it's a quality clay. So those in the pottery industry, we used to go and dig up the roads and steal all the clay for their own means.
Oh,
Right.
And that's where
That
we
is
get the name
interesting.
pothole.
Very interesting.
There we go. You're glad you tuned in today. Of course, it was frowned upon by the Romans and was an ongoing problem, but these holes were emerged and with weather and transport and all that, they deteriorated, much as the way we see potholes today. So how do you celebrate National Pothole Day?
What, go full the potholes?
How does the average citizen prevent potholes from becoming a nuisance?
Not a South
Officially,
African.
there's little that you can do
Mm-hmm.
because you're not allowed to fix them, short of demonstrating outside your council for them to take seriously, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work. Right, so there is one person who found a creative solution, and he would get his spray can out and he would go to the big potholes on the road, the same as what the council might do is they spray a little thing around where it needs to be repaired. This guy spray paints a massive phallus around the pothole with bright yellow spray paint.
Yeah.
wow.
So it forced the council to take action faster because it's obscene.
That's creative.
That's creative.
That's
Yeah.
creative.
So I'm not saying that's what you should do, but if you do have an issue with a repeated offender pothole, it's maybe a creative solution for you to get it fixed.
Sounds like a good one.
So it could be a way to celebrate. I'm not saying you should celebrate National Pothole Day that way, but it is an option for you. There you go. Happy National Pothole Day.
Didn't like one of the insurance companies was running full of pothole initiative? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't like Outsurance or something
Yeah,
like
it
that?
was Dial Direct.
Dial Direct, yeah.
But the problem there was that obviously the Joburg Council then turns around and says, this is not right because we need to go to tender first. Meanwhile, they're doing it at their own cost, but you can't do that. We need to go out to tender first.
To make sure that your own cost is the lowest cost.
Well, we can speculate why they say
We can read
let's go
between the
to-
lines, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
read between the lines. Yeah. It's like there was a company that said, oh, no, it's fine, we'll put up solar traffic lights. And the company that makes the traffic lights said, they've got a company that's prepared to sponsor it, and then they'll just put up some advertising there to say that, okay, this traffic light has been sponsored by so-and-so. So the council turned around to them and said, no, what you need to do is you need to give us the money and then we will organize the solar traffic lights.
Sure.
Obviously, the company told them, no, I don't think so.
That's not happening.
Not happening, no. Yeah, so that's the problem there.
Does anyone ever sue the local
Yeah.
government, local councils,
Yeah.
4 words.
for damage to tires, cars,
So
wheels?
you can put in a claim, but I mean, how long it takes? Do you ever get your money? Never tried. I mean, I went out to Sabi or Hazyview a couple of years ago, not last year, the year before. And we were traveling at night, and we were traveling between Sabi and Hazyview, and I hit a pothole and damaged my rim. Plus got a flat, damaged the rim and everything. Look, I didn't even bother claiming, because I mean it's going to cost you more time and money to follow this thing up. Yeah, maybe lodging it's fairly easy, but following it up, okay, that's it. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you about what happened to me this past week. Scam. Unfortunately, it happened to my daughter.
You serious?
Yeah, but it was on my cell phone account, on my mobile account. So I've got 2 cell phone contracts for my girls, one for each of them. And so what happened was my eldest daughter got a phone call from MTN to say, hey, listen, someone's trying to clone your SIM card. Well, trying to do a SIM swap on your SIM card. I just want to verify that I'm talking to the right person. I've just sent you a one-time PIN. Can you please confirm the one-time PIN? So she does it. She's like, oh, okay, here's the PIN. About 5 minutes later, ding, 3 gigs worth of data bought, 3 gigs worth of data, 3 gigs worth of data. And so this goes on. So she phones me and says, hey, listen, there's something wrong here because this is what's happened. Now all of a sudden I'm getting these SMSs to say that there's 3 gigs being bought repeatedly. And she's obviously panicked. I say, listen, just calm down. Don't worry, relax. I phoned MTN fraud department and told them, listen, this is what's happening. They said, okay, no, this is a common scam. What's the cell phone number? Ding, ding. Can you please confirm your details? Ding, 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 ding. Oh, by the way, they've already racked up. What they've done is they've changed the limit to 19,000 Rand and they've already racked up 15,000 Rand.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm going, oh my God, no. Now what? So they say they will reverse it. I need to submit an affidavit plus a copy of my ID and they'll reverse it. But shit, dude, if they don't, you know what's happening on the 1st of the month? Is they're going to whack me for 19,000 Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the interesting things that happened to me this week.
So when did it happen?
Happy New Year.
On Tuesday.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. So
anyway, I mean, like I've said to my daughter, listen, if ever anyone phones you asking for any pins, you do not give them PIN. If there's an issue with your account, you tell them you'll go into the store. Or you'll phone them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like say to them, hey, listen, give me, I'll phone MTN and sort it out.
So the same thing actually happened to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what they did is they called her up at like early in the morning, right? And I was out, like walking or jogging, whatever. By the time I come back and she's like, my cell phone account got hacked. But I'm like, it's basically pay as you go, right? So they cannot
rack up too much money.
They basically took like 100 megs from her account.
Yeah.
100 megs from her account, and that was it. And then like I called MTN, and then she reset her password, her credentials, everything to the my MTN. But yeah, it happens quite often. And what they're trying to do is they basically trying to target the elderly. They're trying to target you at like early hours of the morning when you're just sleeping or just woken up and you don't realize what's what. They follow the script really close to what the call center consultant would follow. So it doesn't actually ring any alarm bells.
Oh, that's the thing. My daughter said, no, this guy was so helpful and so friendly. And he was just, hey, listen, like we just want to make sure that they don't get this right. Can you please, I've just sent you a PIN. Can you please give me the PIN?
That means that the guy was resetting her OPT on her.
So what they do is they've obviously downloaded the app. And then what they do is when you try and do something in the app, it sends you an OTP to your phone number. Yeah. So then he phones her and says, hey, listen, can you give me the OTP? Then he takes the OTP, puts it into the mobile app, then goes and changes the limit, and then starts buying data, and then transfers the data to other numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope I get my money back. Otherwise, I'm going to be a little bit...
Shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating Provises for the next 2 months.
Shit, dude. But they told you that like they will reverse them.
Yeah, they did. But I mean, geez, dude, I've had this before.
How long does it take to
MTN.
process?
No, listen, the one time MTN invoiced me incorrectly for 4,000 Rand. So when I phoned them, so what happened was.
Do we want to end the podcast before we go into all this?
Hey? Yeah, it's fine. I'll just tell it quickly. So what happened was I upgraded my daughter got an extension on her contract. So they had changed. They were in the process of changing the different packages that you had. So she had to go onto a different package.
Yeah.
So on that thing, I say to them, set all the limits to 0. So in other words, like when your data's finished, your data's finished. It doesn't go into this pay as you go or above threshold or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So they say, sure, no problem. And there on the contract, it says there, limit 0. So what happens the first month, my daughter racks up 4,000 Rands worth of data because it didn't tell her that she had run out of data. Didn't stop her. So I go back to them and I say, hey, listen, here's the copy of the contract. There it says 0 limits. There's a limit on there of 10,000 Rand. That's your mistake. So they say, yeah, sure, it is our mistake. Don't worry, it's not a problem. But they've already debited my account. A debit order's gone through. Dude, it took me 6 months to get that money back. And literally, I had to go physically to MTN. It was useless to phone them on the phone. I had to go into the MTN. I used to go in there like maybe once a week. And then all they do is you know what they do? Okay, I'll escalate it. And nothing happened. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, where's my money? No. I'll escalate it. I'm like, how far are you going to escalate it? Can only go so high. It's like the service is terrible. So I'm holding my
So you're
breath.
changing providers?
No, well,
Or they're all
they're
as good as each
all
other?
as bad as one another, dude. I've had issues with every single service provider. Cell C, Vodacom, and MTN. All of them.
Yeah,
Telecom Mobile. Have you tried Telecom Mobile?
No, I'm not going to try Telkom Mobile. I've had bad experience with Telkom, full stop. I will never use Telkom again. Even if they gave me free fiber, I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, on that happy note, da-da-da-da. So next week, in person, Lester
Episode
Tass is in
100.
the house. Hey, and it rhymes. Can you fucking believe it?
What, Taos and House? Yeah.
Tass and house.
Watch out for that mouse.
Yeah, baby. Okay, come on, give us a rap. Oh, wait, I'll tell you what, let's just wrap it. Let's just
Let's
wrap
just
it up.
wrap it, man.
Yeah.
Let's just
Wrap it up, pack it up, get up, word up.